Learning about Supermodifieds once again. Danny Connors Jr. is here with us right now. Actually, Dan Connors Jr. We're looking at the left front of his Supermodified here. There was one thing I noticed right away, but before we get to that, and if you guys were fans of IndyCar, you'll remember when IndyCar did this a while back too. First of all, Dan, how we doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. He's going to point out some stuff to us. So obviously, let's start with the hub and go from there and work our way in. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, the left front hub here, the spindle, the upper and lower A-arms here. Because this is independent. Pretty much all the cars are independent up there at this point.
Yeah, and that's what we mean. There's no straight axle. See one side and another side.
There's a couple people that have straight axles still, but not many. The push rod here is coming from the bottom of the spindle up to the shock here, so that's your suspension there, and the steering arms in here, which goes into the rack in there. So
yeah, rack and pinion steering, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now the one thing we were initially noticing on this, and I'll point to this and show, I saw this right here and attached like this. So obviously there's one big purpose for that, isn't there?
Yeah, that's a tether for the left front here. Pretty much everybody if you have an independent, you have to have the tether on it. So pretty much everybody has tethers now. This one's a Kevlar one. So basically if everything breaks off here, it's going to hold the wheel attached to the car so it doesn't go off, up into the stands or wherever. Something bad could happen. So
yeah. So that was a recent rule change?
Yeah, probably. Well, not too recent, but in the last 10 to 15 years.
Okay.
They made independent illegal at a certain point, and they brought it back. So it was probably around there, a little before there. So.
The piece I'm interested in here, and this is what got my attention in the first place. Air is air, and this little thing right here gets you, what is it? We figured it 0.0001 seconds a lap, right? Or something like that, right?
I'm sure it's pretty meaningless, but it's everything's something. So a bunch of little things add up to something.
Well, it also keeps it from hanging down, and that would be different then, right? I mean, if this was hanging down and flapping around, that would make a difference.
And it definitely cleans up the air around it. It's just how much it really affects it is, up in the air.
Yeah, I'm going to zoom in here so you can actually see what it actually looks like. And that is obviously, that's carbon fiber, isn't it?
It's little pieces of it, yeah.
Little pieces of it, okay. So that comes off there. And you've never done that yet, right? So we haven't had to worry about that, right?
No.
About having that left front come off yet. But it makes sense. And I remember John Coloca's in the background. John, do you remember when IndyCar did that? Was that like 20 years ago or something like that? I remember they came up with it. Yeah, at least, right? Maybe even more, right? So, and that's something we never saw in these cars before, right, John? Or did they do that years ago? Come on over, John. I'll bring John Coloca here in a minute, because you actually own the car, correct?
No, not this one. I own the
Okay, it's just in the shop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did they do that years ago with Supers, John, or no?
They started tethering axles when they split them, and they started using split axles around 2000, maybe 2001.
Okay.
And at first the axles were banned, and then they let them have them. But you had to have tethers on them because axles sometimes did, where the split was in the axle, they would separate and things would, try to get away. So,
and I could see with the way this is, if we break this heim here, we break this over here, we got a problem. That left front could come right off and just go flying anywhere, right?
Yes, yep.
Actually,
And I've seen it happen.
You have seen it, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
At Star Speedway, actually, I believe that the axle was tethered, but the hub broke and it separated, and I honestly thought it was going to go in the stands. But it was about 30 feet off the ground, and it hit a light pole.
Wow.
And it bounced it back onto the track. It was the scariest thing I ever saw in racing.
Somebody was looking down that day, weren't they, John?
I guess so.
Dan, what were you going to say? You were going to say something?
I was going to say, I think the split axles had more of a tendency to come apart than usually the independents.
Really?
Hold together better. So
okay, well it makes sense because the split axle, there's only one point on it, right? We're here, well, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 different points where everything is taken has a heim on it, is attached. Five, even
or
better.
6 if you want to even count the steering. There's 6.
That's true. So it is less likely to happen, but we race safe before we race fast. That's what somebody told me, right, John?
Correct.
Yes. Thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate that. Hope you guys like this. And if you have an idea, somebody we haven't gotten to yet, or something cool you think we could show you on these cars, send us a message. Send it right through Facebook or right through the YouTube channel. Hit the blue E. That'll subscribe you. John, you're subscribed?
Yes.
Yes, he is. All right, good. Dan's going to subscribe when he gets home. So thanks a lot for your help, guys. And again, the opener is the 28th, I believe, right?
28th at Oswego.
And of course, make sure to check out ISMA as well. Thanks for having me out, guys.
Anytime.